Last year it all came down to the final 80 minutes of the season, Wakefield against Castleford. Tonight we're 6 matches away from the end of Super League 12, but Salford and Hull Kingston Rovers know whoever wins tonight will have a huge say in survival to 2008. Salford 12th and bottom, but hoping for a third win from 6 games under Sean McRae. They've been anchored at the foot of the table since April the 13th, when they lost in round 10 against Hull by 35 points to 18 here. In the last 3 years, Hull Kingston Rovers know the promoted teams have been unable to avert the threat of relegation. It undermines just how much the odds are stacked against them. Can Hull Kingston Rovers survive this year? Salford City Reds will line up with Saxton at full-back, then it's Hodgson who returns, Littler, Moole and Barnett, Wilshire at standoff, and Robinson is the scrum half. The forwards, Heighton, Alka, who's the captain, and Korkidas, Coley, Wainwright and Finnegan. And the bench occupied by Dawn, Haggerty, Nash, and the new face, Philip Luluai, trained yesterday for the first time with coach Sean McRae. Now the Rovers of Hull Kingston, and it's Hardman at fullback, Lennon, Goddard, Dyer and Bauer. Cook has returned alongside the skipper, James Webster. Forwards, Azu, Morel starts at hooker, Vella, O'Neill, Chester and Jean. And the bench, Fisher, Ward, Tandy, and the young Australian Rhys Lovegrove, who has just joined in the party with coach Justin Morgan. Well, it's a cloudy but sultry night, and Sean McRae, there he is. 338 games at the top level in Super League or the NRL. Justin Morgan, only 21 at the top level in Super League, but he celebrated his 32nd birthday yesterday. Can these men give him the best possible birthday present? If Rovers win, they will be 3 points clear of Salford at the bottom of the table, and it would seem almost impossible for Salford to get out of jail. And there are literally thousands of Robin supporters here in the city of Salford to see whether they can do it. Lee promoted in 2004, just 2 wins in 2005. Castleford promoted 2006, were relegated. Now Hull Kingston Rovers are attempting to become the 3rd successive club, or attempting not to become the 3rd successive club to be relegated after winning promotion. It's a big ask. It always is for a team that comes up from the lower division. The Salford City Reds, they qualified for the playoffs last year. This is the last thing they anticipated, but after just 1 win in their first 6 games, it really has been a struggle. And these players know that the next 80 minutes are the defining 80 minutes of their campaign. Steve-O, you've been studying the faces, you've been watching the body language as the players emerge from the dressing room. Who's more up for it, do you think?
It's very difficult to digest under the pressure. Tremendous atmosphere, and of course the tension probably will get to the players. They know deep down, both coaches have played it down, haven't they, before the kickoff, but inside the players' minds, they realise this is the game of the season as far as they're concerned. Especially Hull Kingston Rovers, they know a win tonight will get them 3 points clear of the Salford Reds. It is going to be very difficult, and I think that the side that probably come away with the spoils is the team that will be more adventurous in the opening 10-15 minutes. Normally in this game, under great pressure, they played safety first. 3, 4, 5 drives, and then a kick to the corner, kick and chase. I don't think it'll be like that. One of the sides will take a gamble, I'm sure.
Relegation has its critics, of course. There were 12,000, 13,000 in Wakefield last year to see that final match. And there is arguably the biggest crowd of the season here at the Willows tonight for this showdown. And I know people will say, well, where have they been all year? But they have come out of the woodwork tonight to cheer their teams to victory. It's Salford or Hull Kingston Rovers, the most critical 2 points of the season. And there is the first penalty of the night. Chris Chester all over the top of Michael Korkidas. And Salford get the first attempt to go downfield cheaply.
Silly play by Chris Chester, who's got all the experience there. You can see him just trying to turtle the big prop forward. Not the best thing to do in the opening seconds.
It's electric, Phil, the atmosphere.
Of course it is, yeah. You have to handle the tension, you have to handle the pressure. You know, speed is usually the determinant on which side survives in Super League. And on paper, Salford are the quicker side. Can they show and demonstrate the skill and the speed that they've got over the next 80 minutes?
Well, Michael Korkidas was embroiled in a relegation struggle last year, and of course he survived, but then he came here to Salford on a 3-year deal. Wainwright went without the ball then, and Hull Kingston Rovers have it back. James Webster was right in his face.
Good work by the little half-back there, going very low. Wainwright lost control of it. That's always the trouble when you take that very flat pass.
This is Mark O'Neill. He missed the game against Warrington a couple of weeks ago. He was ill. Scott Morrell is the bleached blonde dummy half wearing number 6. There he is, and he gets it inside to Michele Ezu. Last time we saw him, of course, he was sent off at Wakefield, and he was subsequently suspended. He will have to keep the lid on his emotions tonight as well. This is Webster trying to go inside. Wainwright does, but only gets as far as Alker. That's the last tackle. Morrell is there at dummy half. He'll get the kick in over the top of the first line of defence, but straight into the arms of Richie Barnett. Now Barnett, Saxton and Wainwright gave Salford a little bit of a lift last time we saw them against the Bradford Bulls. Paul Cullen, you know two of those players absolutely top to toe. Do you think they can keep the impetus going here tonight?
Oh, I've got no doubt. Richie Barnett, one of the fastest guys in Super League, wins his collision on those kick returns and sets up that Salford go forward there. Mike Wainwright will want to make amends for that earlier knock on, and he has done. He made a big impact when he flew out the line then and put a shot on James Webster, and he'll have the experience to be able to soak up this atmosphere and give it his best.
Luke Robinson here was looking for a 40-20. He nearly got it as well. It just went the wrong side of the 20-metre line for him. For new viewers, if you kick the ball deep from your own 40-metre zone and it lands in the field of play and then trickles over the line inside opponents 20 metres, it's head and feet at the scrum to you. As it is head and feet at the scrum here to Hull Kingston Rovers.
Nice tactics though, wasn't it? Kicking on the third tackle. They knew that the winger had not dropped back. There's only a couple of metres in it. You talk about, Eddie, this huge crowd that's come over the Pennines from Hull Kingston Rovers. They will be wondering one question. This fella, will he stand up and show the skills that we know he has? Paul Cook.
Paul Cook was the man who played the ball. This is Mark Lennon, the Welsh international, featured in 9 of 11 since arriving from down under. Plays the ball to Morrell again. It's now with Webster. And here now is Ian Hardman. Hardman gets the ball away to Luke Dyer. Dyer bounces away from Robinson first time. Robinson and Newell bring him down. Andreas Bauer is the dummy half 30 metres away from the Salford line. Webster hands it on to Stanley Jean. Jean just dribbles the ball through on the ground, bounces into the arms of David Hodgson, and Hodgson will run the ball back to the 20-metre line.
Much better kick there by Stanley Jean. The one before came from Scott Morrell, went right into the arms of the opposition winger Richie Barnett. Got to make sure that they get good position. This is pretty good defence though by the KR.
Andy Coley gets to his feet, plays the ball to Wilshire, short pass then to David Hodgson.
Ooh, that looked a swinging arm, not seen by the official.
The ball has come out.
Oh, he's lost it, he says. The man with the whistle, Ashley Klein. Well, Hodgson looking at the official saying, well, wasn't that a hit from Mark O'Neill pretty high? I think it might have been.
That has to be stripped, Eddie. The ball can't come up in the air with Hodgson lying on his back. It's impossible.
I was just about to make the point. I think you made it during National League coverage last night. When a player is like that on the back, there's the ball, and all of a sudden, bump, up it goes. And it was Paul Cook who got the fingers to it.
You'd expect a touch judge, Mike, to have a little look at that from that far side, or even in a game of this pressure intensity that you might even want to go upstairs and ask someone.
It's Rovers though who are on the attack, and this is Stanley Jean on the charge.
This is where Paul Cook probably take first receiver.
Beg your pardon, it was Ezu. Ezu plays the ball. This is Cook. Good movement here, and that is Ian Hardman again on the extended loan deal from the champion St Helens. He will play the ball. Chris Chester off the head, and it is picked up. And Salford will run this ball back, but Tom Saxton gets only as far as Scott Morell. He got over the advantage line though, where the knock-on originally took place, so the referee says play on, and here is Korkidas again.
Pretty wasted opportunity there by Kingston Rovers. They put the pressure and went on that short blindside on the left.
Finnegan now for Salford. Good defence.
You know, Salford have struggled, Eddie, this season, particularly in their goal forward. They haven't had enough big men to get them forward, and perhaps they've lacked a bit of creativity. I don't think it's been Malcolm Walker's best season. He's missed a lot of games through injury, but they've struggled really to get their opposition on the back foot in reverse.
Here is that man Olka, gets the ball away to Paul Heighton. It was a great hit though by Morell.
Picked him out well, didn't he? Knew he was going to receive the football.
Robinson this time goes right down the centre of the field. Hardman back at full back. Oh, a difficult bounce for him. Picks it up on the third, runs it out as far as Aaron Moore.
Good work by Hardman. Didn't panic. Knew the ball was going all over the place. Sometimes he just panicked because you know the opposition's coming into your face. You rush things. He just kept cool. Pretty good stuff.
Andreas Bauer plays the ball to Dyer. He gets it inside to Webster. Here is Michele Azu again. Good tackling from Salford inside Rovers territory. Morell and Paul Cook just dropped the shoulder, came back inside, but Salford surround him and get him down. Morell, Michael Vella to take it forward. Good hit by Heighton and Coley. That's the last one for Rovers. Morell again. Here's Cook. The kick goes up into the sky. Full back is Saxton. He claims it. And Tom Saxton will run the ball back. Saxton is another man, of course, who's been involved in relegation scraps. In fact, 2 of the last 3 years, relegated with Castleford 2004 and involved with Wakefield last year.
7 minutes on the clock. Kick tennis is what we're looking at the moment. We've had a mistake each from both sides. Completion in the middle channels. We're basically playing in between the 20s. They're looking to complete, they're looking to push up with simplicity. We're waiting for someone to crack. That's what's on the cards at the moment.
Yes, safety first. It really is. Here's Korkidas up the middle. Still spinning his way forward. That's the end of the tackle number 5. Expect the kick from Robinson. There it is, down the line. And Hardman will have work to do here. Will he? No, it goes touch in goal. Well, Kingston Rovers, they have yet to occupy 12th place in the table. Indeed, as we said in the build-up to this match, following their victory against Leeds on the 10th of March, they stood top of the Engage Super League table.
Well, you can sense the pressure out there, the tension, mainly due to the fact that we've only had 2 very good kicks. The rest have been very nervous attempts. You saw the one previous to the kick by Luke Robinson, which went dead in goal, but I must say it was a poor kick by Paul Cook. He attempted the bomb, he got no height whatsoever. It was easy for Saxton to defuse.
And you know, coaches, they get paid to make big decisions. At times they have to take a gamble. Kingston Rovers coach Justin Morgan has made one tonight, picking Scott Morell, the guy wearing number 6, but playing hooker. The first time in his professional career at this level, he's been tasked with that job, and it probably is the most important position in a modern-day rugby league side.
Great carry forward here by Richie Barnett, but in the end he beat himself, went backwards, just tripped over under pressure from Vella.
So important though when you get a winger can give you 15-20 metres forward. That means that you can get somewhere near the halfway line and put away a very good kick indeed. It's so important, as Paul Cullen's mentioned. It's kick tennis so far.
I was surprised then they went wide.
Watson's on the break, hang on! He's got Finnegan in support! And Finnegan is closed down by 2 defenders. Hardman was in there quickly. Here comes Salford with Robinson. Robinson wide, it goes to Barnett. Barnett will finish for Salford. Salford City Reds hit the lead. Richie Barnett began the move with a great run from his own 20-metre zone. He carried Salford forward. The forwards continued it on. It looked for a moment as though Salford were going to be in under the sticks. Great work in defence from Rovers, but Richie Barnett, his 3rd appearance since joining from Warrington, he averages a try every other game in his career, and he's just got his 3rd touchdown of 2007. And how big might this one be?
Not as big as this break here from Hodgson. It was superb, very poor defence, but take nothing away from him. They got there, Finnegan kept his cool as well, but Robinson knew they were pretty light on their right-hand side, and they took full advantage. It took 2 passes, missed out 2 men, in and out. Nice reach, nice finish. What a beautiful pass, and what a try. Boy, they needed that. The man who started it waves the finger and says, yep, and I finished it. You can't ask for more than that.
Richie Barnett at his best there. Sometimes, you'll know this, Paul, better than anyone, you get knock-ons galore from him, but sometimes he comes up with efforts like that.
Richie's a fantastic athlete, Eddie, and I was just about to say before they made the break from Dave Hodgson, I was surprised he shifted wide after the original break from Richie Barnett. You know, he made a great bust through on the kick return. I thought they'd have gone right at the ruck from that position.
And Wiltshire drifts the conversion over the top of the bar, and Salford are ahead by 6 points to 0.
There you see the long pass from Robinson. You can see that the winger just caught out of position, just slightly. That's all you need. And he finishes off very well indeed.
Well, Barnett has scored tries for 4 clubs in Super League now. Hull, Widnes, the Warrington Wolves and the Salford City Reds. And they come up immediately in the shape of Luke Robinson with a blunder at the kickoff. How often do you see that happening?
Eddie, give some credit to this kickoff, it's fantastic. He plays so well, knowing that Robinson will be close to the try line. He drops the ball on the half volley, putting it just in front of him. It's that awkward one. Do you let it bounce and hope you're going to pick it up, or do you go for it on the full? He went for it on the full, came up with a mistake, and now he's hoping they can hang on for 6 tackles.
Oh, I don't know whether they can. Well, that was Paul Cook who was on the charge. He nearly lost it. He has lost it. Paul Cook under pressure from Andy Coley. First tackle from the base of the scrum, and Hull Kingston Rovers knocked the ball on.
Oh, it was great work from Coley, though. You see him just having the arms all over, and it was sufficient because Paul Cook did not hang on to it strong enough. That is tension.
Well, Salford will feel that
they've been let off.
they've been let off the hook, yes.
Well, they certainly have. It was a pretty poor effort there from the kickoff. How often do we see that? In our game of rugby league, you score a try and they virtually come over the net right from the kickoff.
Well, Phil wanted to praise the man kicking the ball. I think we should, but Robinson maybe should have, it's easy to say from up here, maybe he should have just taken a few steps forward, Phil.
Either way, I think the importance of that is Hull Kingston Rovers don't score very many long-range tries. If you look at how they've scored this season, it's been when they've been up close to opponent's try line. So the fact that they've had the chance to be there and Salford have survived and got away from it, it's one big tick in the box for the Reds.
The kick from Wiltshire is over the top. Hardman played that with the boot and did well, actually, and will run the ball back. Ian Hardman.
Oh, that was a big hit from Coley.
It was.
He's putting himself about. We knew he was going to be rough and tough out there. It always is. This is a battle for survival. Not only the 2 points. There's contracts on the line here, and
yes.
The players know it. Yes,
there's a lot more serious things going on in the world at the moment, but you're right, it's livelihoods that are on the line here. It's only a game, we mustn't forget that, but people's livings are at stake tonight. This is Makele Azu again. Nearly got the ball back then on the deck. Paul Petrovic, Scott Morrell finds Paul Cook. The kick is not the best, and it's stuck to David Hodgson's fingers like glue.
Worth noting, every time Hull Kingston Rovers get in a good field position, good ball, good shape, it goes left to Paul Cook. At their peak, certainly last season and early part of this year, that was going to James Webster. Hull KR, you're right, Phil, score most when they're playing with good territory off the back of a good kicking game in the opposition zone 20. At the minute, they're playing different to how they've got themselves in the early part of the season in a good position.
There are people, Phil, who say that Rovers are a better side, or have been a better side this season without Paul Cook. Is that unfair?
I don't think it is, no. And sometimes, you know, as a coach and a chairman, you make a decision, you recruit a player, and maybe it doesn't pay off. I think in the short term it hasn't been successful for Rovers. Maybe longer term it might be. You just ask the question, was Paul Cook such a dominant player at Hull because of the players he had around him, or is it the fact that he doesn't have the quality around him now at the Hull Kingston Rovers side? I don't know whether the jury's firmly out on that, Steve, at the moment. He did have quality, he did create so many tries when he played for the black and white of Hull, but he isn't doing so at the moment with the Rovers.
Well, he was never a player, as far as I was concerned, that played at the top quality for the full 80 minutes. He's a game breaker. He can just produce the magic for 10 minutes in a game, and that's sufficient. And you're right, he did have a lot better players around him at Hull, but before the game kicked off, I mentioned the fact that because of Cook having so much confidence in what he has to do, that James Webster has not been taking control out there, and he's a very lively player.
Well, there is Webster. He disappears under the tackle of Luke Robinson. It's Scott Morrell. He's got O'Neill here, and the ball is wide to Andreas Bauer, and that's good defence from Richie Barnett. He'll play the ball quickly to Dyer if he can, and Dyer will run this ball diagonally and strong, but
he's offloaded
it to Finnegan, and Finnegan will give it to Alka. And Alka gets a clock round the chops from Makele-Ezu.
Well, they've thrown it away. Hull Kingston Rovers there. Good work by the winger, and then he just offloaded straight away into the arms of Finnegan. And there's the high shot. Dyer just, well, it's amazing, isn't it?
Maybe it was a good call, eh?
That was. Didn't miss. Tough cookie though, isn't he? Malcolm Alka. Such a vital cog in this Reds outfit.
So Salford with an opportunity here to build on this 6-0 lead with Alka, and he finds Korkidas. Korkidas runs hard and straight.
Great quick play of the ball as well. That's a way to come onto it. You can see that the Hull Kingston Rovers defence hadn't got there. That looked forward. They haven't picked it.
They haven't. It's Heighton. That really did look about a metre forward, but the touch judge and referee say play on. Coley's on the charge, and Coley, has he got this down? No, he's knocked on, says the referee. No try. Doesn't refer it upstairs to Steve Ganson, who's the video ref.
He's got to be Simbin. That's silly play. He hasn't scored. He just got the foot to it, Hardman. And he's got 10 minutes in the sin bin for pinching the foot. No point asking, son. You know perfectly well. Well, from hero to zero.
Well, Stacey Jones did it in the Cup semi-final, didn't he?
What about that from Hardman? Sheer desperation. And then the marble's still spinning inside the brain box.
Should that have been a goal line dropout?
I think so. I think Ian Hardman defended it in his in-goal area. We've talked about that before. And then grounded the ball. Perhaps if they'd gone to the video referee, then it would have been a goal line dropout.
Well, surely it would be a knock-on. He didn't have control, did he?
Well, he was putting the ball down, and the player kicked the ball out from underneath his arms.
Yeah, well, either way.
Well, no matter now, it has all happened, and Coley was the man who's in the sin bin, and here is Webster. He's got O'Neill with him, and Hull Kingston Rovers. Oh! He staggers his way to the line.
He just got there.
Did he get to the line? Yes, he did.
Oh!
Mark O'Neill just, well, he fell. There was no one round him. Just stumbled, got up, and he crawled his way over the line.
Was it shock, Eddie?
Oh, it was a shock maybe that he was clear, and the posts were beckoning, but Mark O'Neill, well, he got a try in his last 2 appearances for Hull Kingston Rovers. He's just come up with another. He's a grand final winner with West in 2005. That was a big game, and this is just as big in a different context.
It's a big call. I think he was trying a little bit too high. It's very difficult either way, but take nothing away from the dummy from James Webster. We said that the man had the ability to make the break. And look at this. Roly-poly, T-R-Y. Oh! Webster's great break, and when he offloaded, give him all the credit, the second row of Mark O'Neill, and then the Phantom got it. He got there in the end. This is a vital one.
Just a few moments ago, Paul Cook made no mistake and added the extras, and we are level pegging here at the Willows. It's 6 apiece in this relegation 4-pointer.
We said pre-game that the pressure is going to tell in all different sorts of ways. You know, Andy Coley's a great player, international player, and to catch that ball to prevent the restart has cost his side badly. It is 6-all, but Salford down to 12 for a considerable part of a very important section of this game.
David Hodgson with the restart for Salford, deep into Rovers territory. Underneath it is Webster, and it will be run back again, but there are 3 Salford players there to hound the player to the ground. It was Andreas Bauer.
Well, isn't it amazing? It looked for all the world that Coley was going to score, and then made the confidence build them, the Salford Reds. They were fully in charge of it, and then we get the break from Webster. It's all on. This will lift KR now. They're in a little bit of a slump.
But the big question that Sean McRae and the Salford City Reds supporters and the players will be asking is, should that have been a goal line dropout at the other end in the result that ended with Andy Coley being sent to the sin bin? Should Ashley Klein actually have just taken a breather and handed it upstairs to Steve Ganson to have a look at?
Yes, you're right.
I don't know, Mike. He's trying to put the ball down with one hand and lost control trying to score, I think you've got to give him credit for making
control,
it.
Paul, to be fair, the leg was underneath it, and the ball was kicked out of his hand.
Well, to be fair, I'm with Paul, because his hand was about half a metre away from the ground. If he was closer, maybe you're right. Either way,
well,
it's fish and chips. It's there. It's 6-all.
And we all have opinions.
Yep.
And it would have been interesting to find out what Steve Ganson's opinion was, but he was not asked. It's offside against Hull Kingston Rovers, so it's a penalty to Salford on halfway.
Well, it's all go, isn't it? It's all happening. Oh, quick tap!
Quick tap by Robinson.
Oh, look at the meters forward he's made as well. He's still going all over the place.
And here is Haggerty. That's a great first tackle effort from the Salford City Reds.
Stanley Jean with tiny shoelaces with his back to the play of the ball.
This is Mike Wainwright, gets it in field to Alker. Alker in a standing start. That's tackle number 2. They are 12 metres away from the line. Salford with Aaron Moole. Here is Finnegan. This is Wilshire. Wilshire gets it wide to Stuart Littler. And Littler is brought to ground by 2 defenders. Wilshire on the run, halted by the tackle from Stanley Jean. This is Robinson. Robinson then to Aaron Moole. Moole spinning away, but takes the tackle in the end from Webster and company. Tom Saxton has joined the line. This is Robinson again, will hoist the kick wide, will he? It's something for Hodgson to chase, and that came off the hands of John Goddard. That's going to be a goal line dropout.
Certainly did. Put him under a lot of pressure. It was a superb weighted kick right into the corner. Put him under a lot of
it was Mark
trouble.
Lennon, beg pardon.
Didn't matter. Hull KR touched it. Salford will get the restart. There is the sin bin man, Andy Coley.
It's not completely out of character.
Dawn.
He has conceded more penalties than any other player in Super League this season, and if you have that in your game, sooner or later you're going to get caught out and penalised for it.
But that was silly, wasn't it? To take the ball off the man on the 20-metre line. I mean, the precedent was set, as I said, in the Challenge Cup semi-final last week. Stacey Jones having a blinder, messed around like that, straight to the sin bin. Mind you, he returned, and he eventually put Wigan to the sword. So what will Coley do when he gets back?
Well, he certainly wanted to atone for that big mistake, but it is a problem that he has in his game. And you've got to really wonder what. To be fair, though, they're not all Einsteins out there, Phil, are they?
Well, they were 30 up, weren't they, when he did it last week?
Yeah, it's a bit different. Hull are leading the champions at Knowsley Road, 6-0. Here is Robinson. Robinson attacking the line. It goes wide, and on the bounce to Barnett again. Barnett will dump it back to Saxton, and Saxton will hoik the kick wide. Here's another chance for Hodgson. And that's missed again, and it's going to be another 6 to go.
Be a knock-on.
Okay.
Yeah. Doesn't have to hit the ground as soon as it made contact going forward, which it did. And as soon as Goddard pushed it, it was definitely a knock-on. Well, that's 2 wonderful kicks into that corner. They obviously feel that there's a problem out there on that left-hand side, on the Kingston Rovers side.
This is Mark Lennon. Good harassing again by Salford, but good work from Lennon to stay on his feet and push his way forward a couple more metres.
And this is the different tactic that the Hull KR coach has applied. He's now brought the hooker Ben Fisher on 25 minutes into the game, it's a change for him to come off the bench, but can he make the impact that a Roby makes at St Helens?
This is Luke Dyer, ball back inside to Bauer. Bauer is clawed to ground by Haggerty and by Aaron Moore.
Isn't it amazing? Since we were talking about the fact that Paul Cook and Webster has started to take first receiver. He's controlling things out there. It's obviously that Justin Morgan has said, listen, Webster, you take control. Cook has it now, though.
This is Paul Cook, and Paul Cook is in for Rovers.
He reckons he scored it.
The referee gives the try. His first for Hull KR. Paul Cook, and what a night to come up and score it. He's missed the last two matches. There was a gap there, and Paul Cook is the ideal man. Exploit it. His last appearance was as a sub against Hull in the derby on the 8th of July, and his last try, as you can see, was in Hull's win here at the Willows. So, Paul Cook puts Hull Kingston Rovers ahead.
We pose the question, would the real Paul Cook stand up? Well, he didn't stand up on that occasion. He threw the dummy and had to just wobble through, just the way that O'Neill went over. It's not the style that counts, it's how you get the ball down. Beautiful dummy. Perhaps he could have passed on the inside. Either way, he is a hero. Been under a lot of pressure, and he knows it. He really has not produced the form that we've seen in the black and white shirt of Hull, but with a try like that, that will lift his spirits and of course the team's as well.
And Cook, the conversion attempt, rebounds off the post, and how important might these missed kicks be at the end of the 80 minutes. But Paul Cook and Andy Coley off the field for 10 minutes in the sin bin, and Rovers have scored twice and have taken the lead.
So important, isn't it? And he knows it. Andy Coley is really under pressure now. He knows he's got to give something back to his coach.
It has to, and it was important, I thought, in that set of six from the Hull Kingston Rovers. You got a combination between 6 and 7, James Webster and Paul Cook. And I'll stand to be corrected, I think that's the first time in this game they've got a pass sequence between the 6 and 7. They pushed the ball to the 20 right. Salford looked very, very thin, right in the position where Andy Coley has left the field from, just about the right second row, and that's where Cook went straight through.
Well, he's waiting on the sideline, Andy Coley, to come back into the action. He just will be given the nod by the official over there, I'm sure, when his 10 minutes is up, and it is now up. He's back on, and Salford back to a full complement, but they've conceded 2 tries and 10 points. They've conceded the lead. Here is Stanley Jean. Stanley Jean gets the ball away brilliantly. That was Gareth Haggerty with the tackle. Here now on the drive is Ryan Tandy. Last one, they're 40 metres away. Webster hoists the pass wide to Bauer. Kick in field, bouncing everywhere, and it's picked up in the end.
No, it wasn't forward. I hate to say it, but he had that momentum going forward, and that was sufficient to allow the official to let it go on. It's important now that Salford get into a good position. They have had little possession over the last 10 minutes.
This is Tommy Saxton, gets the ball away to Robinson again. Robinson. Nothing to choose, is there, in the stats? The only thing to choose at the moment is the 4 points that Rovers lead by. Here is Finnegan.
Both sides having good success, poking through the line, winning the collision. One thing you can guarantee, this game won't finish at 10-6.
Wilshire with the kick to turn Mark Lennon around, bounced very kindly for him. Lennon will run it back, but only as far as Littler. That's good work from Salford. That's very good work from Salford. Mark Lennon did well to hang on to that, and Philip Luluai has come on. He trained yesterday for the first time, the former Cronulla Shark. He's a Kiwi, and his cousins Thomas at Wigan and Kylie at Leeds. We will see Kylie, if he's named in the Leeds 17, at Harlequins on Sunday. This is Tandy. Tandy to the 40-metre line. Webster gets the kick, but that is easy for David Hodgson.
Not the best there. They really should have put that down to the ground, trying to make it bounce all over the place. Gives you those vital 2 or 3 meters to get downfield. I think both coaches are quite happy now to just get themselves a field position. Nothing silly now. Plenty of good, hard, solid work in the forwards. Try to get over the halfway line, and they've got, both sides have got to improve their kicking game.
There's Philip Luluai, 30 years of age. He's played 10 times this year for Cronulla Sharks in the NRL. And a drive forward again by Coley. And St Helens back in the hunt against Hull, and not standing square at the play of the ball. Rovers penalised, 30 metres out. I'll give you 2-1. They'll kick a goal.
Great work from Alka, wasn't it? He knew that there was one.
Should have taken me on.
Had have gone new one.
They're running it with the tap penalty. Here is Littler. That's confidence for you. I suppose there's no point in Salford even thinking about a draw or getting close. They want to win this game, as the Rovers, and Finnegan gets the try for Salford. Sean McRae and Steve Sims on the terraces on the opposite side. The fans do a dance of delight. There was no hint in the end of a kick at goal. They took the gamble, did Salford, and they came up with the 4 points. And the scores here now are dead level, courtesy of Simon Finnegan's try, his 40th try in the British game.
That's the second occasion that they've gone for that quick tap. And from that first play of the ball, it was very poor defence. Webster went far too high. Finnegan just shrugged him off. Should have gone for the legs. Had 2 opportunities. Was good work though, wasn't it? Haggerty, the offload. He was coming like an express train, this fella. He's happy.
Well, Wilshere here with the kick to keep Salford ahead. They trailed to 2 tries for the Rovers when Coley was off the field. Wilshere side foots the ball over the top of the bar, and Salford lead by 12 points to 10.
There you see the man just put it. You see Finnegan running into the gap. That means that those defenders, when they come to him, they're off balance. They went far too high anyway, and so did Hardman. Finnegan didn't mind. Game on.
It's not a statement of intent, Phil, from Salford that, all right, there were 2 cheap points at stake there, and they decided to run it rather than kick the penalty.
I think it is, and I think it shows a very positive frame of mind. They've come here, as Malcolm Monk said before the match, not hoping I should say, but expecting to win this game. You know, there are some old-timers who say that we don't have any ball-playing forwards anymore. But I think that pass by Gareth Haggerty was absolutely fantastic. Do you know, as a big man, to run at the defence and pass before the line is a pretty tough skill to do, because you're just about to get hit by some defenders. But Haggerty's pass to Finnegan was superb.
Bit of silliness there from Luke Dyer, just having a chop at Luke Robinson's head when the Little's Salford halfback was on the deck.
Yeah, just put themselves under a little bit of pressure there, but I think you're absolutely right, Phil. I think it even caught Webster out. Haggerty usually comes on a ball short at the ruck, very strong, very dynamic. I think it caught everyone out that he could pass a ball of that quality at that speed.
The penalty count is not helping Rovers' cause. They haven't had one yet. Salford have had 5. Alka was almost lifted dangerously. Here is Luluai. Strong run from the new prop forward. Alka.
Good work from the experienced hooker. Knows to get those vital meters forward so that Robinson can get the kick in. It's a good one, got plenty of height.
It has got plenty of height. Andreas Bauer is underneath it and does well, collects it and goes down under the challenge from Barnett.
What a great take here. Did well, Barnett. Didn't touch him before, and now Salford over enthusiastic, got out of the block, the touch too early. Just shows you the tension that's going on out there. Only 2 points separate.
Well, Steve Nash just a bit quick. Fisher gives the ball to Dyer. He'll drive it in towards Finnegan. Fisher just listening for the call. showed the ball to Ward, gave it instead to Ryan Tandy. There's Fisher again, centre field. They go to Cook down that left-hand channel. Short ball to Lovegrove. Jean this time at dummy half. Here's Danny Ward. In danger of being relegated for the second year in a row, the former Castleford and Leeds prop forward Ward. Fisher will go the short side. Lovegrove, good offload. This is Ian Hartman. And Ian Hartman is held just short of the line on the last tackle. Fisher, good run. Ooh, now then, did he lose it? Has Michael Vella got this ball down? He has handed it upstairs to Steve Ganson to decide. I wonder whether you can read anything into the body language from Michael Vella. Has he scored here?
Well, he's pretty confident. No, he's lost it. Hasn't even got anywhere near the line. That's a knock on. And this will be no try. I don't think Finnegan got a hand to it, or did he? Oh, this is going to be a big call for Steve Ganson, the video referee.
Doesn't seem right though, does it, Steve, that you can penalise the defender here? He's got a right, hasn't he, to try and prevent the try. I know there are 2 men in the tackle.
Well, Steve Ganson's pretty confident. There's no try, I'm sure.
And it's the handover.
It is very difficult.
It was on the last, so it is the handover.
At full speed, you see Finnegan saying he lost it. Now, it's really important for Old Kingston Rovers to try to keep Salford down in their own defensive zone, in their own quarter. If they can do that, then they may force the error, because the kick will not be all that good. It won't get them past the halfway line, one would imagine.
There's just a little bit more than 4 minutes remaining in this first half. Wilshire gets the ball back on the inside to Luluai. The ball is lost by the big fellow. That's slap on the back time for all the Hull Kingston Rovers defenders. That's a huge hit on Luluai.
Yeah, lost control of it, even though it went backwards and forwards.
Good hit from, good tackle indeed from Ben Fisher.
There's been some crunches out there.
This is Stanley Jean.
Now this is where OK are very, very dangerous, mainly due to the fact that we've already seen Webster and Cook break through.
20 metres away from the Salford line. Fisher, Webster, O'Neill, good movement. Webster again, trying to go inside them.
Nice little double run around and switch back to the blind.
Fisher at dummy half. This is Ward. Ward taking the responsibility himself. That's the end of tackle number 4. They're 5 metres short of the Salford line, and it's a long ball to Paul Cook, and then even further long to Stanley Jean. He just hangs on to it, gets the ball back to Cook again, looping past to Webster. Robinson's after him, gets it back to O'Neill. They keep it moving here to Luke Dyer, and
Good
Dyer goes down on the last tackle. Good scrambling defence, you're right. It's Webster, it's Cook, and Cook will hoist the kick now. And the ball bounces off the Salford man, Hodgson, so it's 6 to go. Intense pressure here on the Salford line. 6 more tackles. That was Goddard. He plays the ball to Fisher. They go wide to Mark Lennon, and Mark Lennon is on his way over the whitewash.
Tremendous work. They got back in numbers there. Salford, Luluai was the man behind it. OK, he came up with an error earlier, but he's repaid his coach with this. Got his body well and truly wrapped around him. Look at the size of those shoulders. Boy, he's massive. You don't get shoulders like that wrapping Christmas presents, Paul.
No, you don't. Big play there from Hull KR, and not the right one. You've got to be hitting Paul Cook with the ball. Paul Cook or even Webster on the long side. Salford obviously had all the numbers close around that play, the ball, and Cook was screaming for it on the long side.
This is Finnegan. This game every bit as important to Hull Kingston Rovers as their 29-16 grand final victory against Widnes at Warrington last October that got them into the Super League for the first time. Great hit. Coley nowhere to go. Minute and a half to go to half time. Hull Kingston Rovers will probably get another set of 6. Looping pass wide to Hodgson from Robinson. And Hodgson comes back inside. and the referee has given a penalty to Hull Kingston Rovers for obstruction over on that far side.
Well, I think he's got him for pushing someone out of the way. Yep. You can see there that Robinson went straight into Cook, and it was a gentle push, but it was sufficient to convince the man with a whistle.
Inside the last minute, what would Rovers give for a try here? What would he give for a try? Justin Morgan, 32 years young yesterday. It's Paul Cook, it's a short pass. It's a great tackle from Littler on John Goddard. It's Paul Cook, now here's Jean. And Jean will attack the line. Will take the tackle from Philip Luluai.
Webster screaming for it on the right. Will they go the short blind? Yes, they have.
With Paul Cook again. Short ball. And Rhys Lovegrove is just held up short of the line. Fisher is busy at dummy half. Back it comes to Cook. Here is Webster. Webster to O'Neill. O'Neill then to Dyer. Quick hands from Dyer.
Oh, he's dropped it.
And Andy Espoir drops it with the line begging. What an escape for Salford. 10 seconds from half-time.
Cannot believe that. Quick hands. You could see there that Richie Barnett had gone in off from the sideline. And that'll be the half-time hooter.
Well, there were mistakes on both sides there in the last few seconds of the first half. It's that sort of a game, but Andreas Bauer knows, had he taken that pass in, he could well have given Rovers the lead at half-time. As it is, on this tense night at the Willows, it's Salford 12, Hull Kingston Rovers 10. It's 2 tries apiece. The goal kicking of Wilshere, though, gives Salford the lead. The City Reds, the bottom club, 12. Hull Kingston Rovers next to bottom, 10. It's so tense.
Chelsea, Man United.
At the bottom,